Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is now official. Michael Gallup returning to the Dallas Cowboys. 5 years, 62.5 million, 27 million of which guaranteed. That averages out to 12.5 million a year. Congratulations to Michael Gallup first and foremost. Let's not get mad that the Cowboys gave him that contract. The fact is that is his market value. The Cowboys gave him market value price point. And, I'm not going to get mad that a guy got his money. Absolutely not. Michael Gallup deserves any penny that he was going to get in free agency, and the Cowboys gave it to him. Now, here's the thing. It's a Amari Cooper contract all over again. Now, what do I mean by that? What do I mean by it's an Amari Cooper contract? First 2 years are guaranteed. Anything after that are shadow years, similar to the Amari Cooper deal. So the first 2 years are guaranteed. After the first 2 years, the 3 years avoidable. And if I'm the Dallas Cowboys, okay, you really cannot afford to cut this guy in 2 years, or you're going to be just doing the same shit over and over and over and over again. You just released Amari Cooper because, okay, you paid him as a 1. You believe that he isn't able of being a 1 anymore, or rather in your system. But now you bring back a Gallup, and you're kind of hoping he's your number 2 beside your soon-to-be number 1 receiver in CeeDee Lamb. And I think that for the Cowboys, if that's the case, look, I believe that CeeDee Lamb is a better outside receiver than slot guy. I think that that's kind of shown its course. I think that for what I am getting from this, the Cowboys are, looking at CeeDee and Michael Gallup as their 1 and 2 of the future, and you kind of just draft the in-between guys. And if it were me, I would not pay Cedric Wilson. I would rather let him go because you can just draft a cheap guy in there, and you're just going to repeat this process all over again. You have a cheap guy, rookie, you have a guy that you just gave money to, and then you're going to just draft another guy. I think the Cowboys should still look at doing that. But I think the part that still kind of bugs me is that you traded Cooper just to give Gallup his money. And, regardless of how we feel in Amari Cooper, until we actually see the details of the guaranteed money, which from what I would suggest, you're probably having it to where your cap hit is 6 or 7 million the first year. The next year it's 6 to 7 million or 8 million, and then it's going to be 12.5 million like the Cooper deal. And if that's the case, that's not a bad deal whatsoever. I think the Cowboys getting it to where you're not paying as much for Gallup, that's cool. My problem is that, we cannot conduct business like this. We cannot be cutting or trading a guy, especially if we're trying to pull this, okay, we're going to drag you through the mud situation, which they didn't do that for Gallup, but just keep an eye out. But I think what puts Gallup in a better situation, and he's a number 2 guy, and he's a very talented number 2. But still to my core, I do not believe in paying number 2 guys that kind of money, unless you know what you're doing. Like, if you feel that you have 2 guys that you're going to roll with for 10 plus years, okay, you go with that number 2 and that number 1. But we can't be doing business where you keep Gallup for 2 years. Basically, it's a 2-year deal. Then you cut him after the 2 years just to pay a CeeDee Lamb, and then you do that with the next guy, and then you do that with the next. That's not how you should do business. And I think that if Catboy wants to keep doing business like this, the Cowboys will not be in a situation to win a championship. Now, looking at my depth chart information, you've now brought back 2 of the 4 receivers that were set to hit free agency. And I think that whether Cedric comes back or not, or Malik Turner, that's one thing. But what this tells me is the Cowboys have brought back 2 offensive pieces in Dalton Schultz and and Michael Gallup. We'll see what happens with the Schultz deal if they get that done. But at this point, I would say on the offensive side of things, you just need to fix up that line and draft a wide receiver 3 or 2 of the future. I think also when you look at the secondary, I think that's where you got to spend most of your money this offseason because you have a lot of free agents there. So you're going to need to shore that down and then just go into the draft, and I think you just get your key guys as they always do. But I don't know. I mean, I think that the move just has me feeling a certain way, primarily because it's like deja vu in this instance, and I don't want to make it seem like I'm mad at a guy getting his money. I'm never mad about a guy getting his money. I think the problem is that if the Cowboys do this to Gallup down the road, we cannot be falling into that same trap. Like if Gallup gets hurt again, and then we end up being in a situation where you're paying all this money for a guy that is unreliable, or they want to pull that bullshit card out, then you're not doing the good part. I think, but the thing is that Gallup had the calf injury, then he had the ACL injury, and from what reports are saying, he should be back by August. But if I'm Dallas, you have to hope this pans out, because if this doesn't pan out, a lot of people are going to go back and look and say, for what you paid Cooper, I understand that his guaranteed money was coming up, but, I don't think the Cowboys would release him if, especially the cap was to go up, which it is. I don't know. This deal has me feeling a certain way about how the Cowboys are still conducting business, and, it's awesome to see a guy like him get his money, but you can't be doing this whole, oh, well, when CeeDee Lamb, when Amari Cooper was here, this is all he did, and, this is what, but he was supposed to be a number 1, and this, because if you actually know the politics behind the scenes that I've been seeing and from hearing, you know what I'm getting at. So, once again, congratulations to Michael Gallup getting that money, but again, the biggest thing is does this make your wide receiving core better? I don't think it does as of the moment. I think you need one more guy in there. If you were to get a rookie, maybe you can make the argument, but at this current juncture, I would say to myself, you need to spend money on that defense to get guys to plug up holes. You have a lot of free agents there. On offense, you can afford to draft some guys, but once again, you need, because you didn't tender Luke Gifford or Francis Bernard. No talk on if Leighton Vander Esch or Jayden, there's no word on that. So I'm going to let you guys go home with that. The Cowboys bring back Michael Gallup. Congratulations to him. Was it the right move? We'll have that discussion in the comment section, but I'll catch you guys later. Have a good one, guys. Bye-bye.